Good evening, gamers, and welcome to another episode of What I'm Playing Now. This is episode 3. My name is Joe Luzzi, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Greg Martin. How you doing tonight, Greg?
Oh man, that's fantastic! It's a great day to be a gamer because it's like 20 degrees outside.
And a Steam sale's going on.
Yes, the Steam sale is going on, and I've basically broke myself now.
Yeah, I was purchasing several things the other night, which we could talk about later on under the what I'm playing now section. But you gotta love a good Steam sale.
Oh yeah, there were some infographics on. I saw them on Twitter and I saw them on Facebook of people that they showed infographics of this mock Steam icon saying Steam sale, and their wallet was just like, no, stay away from me.
Yeah, I was trying to keep my purchases down to some of the lower priced items.
Mm.
Just some things I've had on my wish list for a while.
Did you see? I haven't cleared my wish list off at all on Steam. I've got so many games on there I haven't touched.
I actually removed a couple because I have purchased about half of them now.
Yeah. So did you see? Speaking of devastation sales, did you see the one that was on GOG.com?
I don't think so.
They were selling 65 games for $100 and some odd dollars, which was knocking off like $400 off the total price.
No, I did not see that one. Is that still going on, or was that just Black Friday?
I think it might still be going on. I haven't checked, but I know when I looked on Friday, that was the sale that was going on, and you could just arbitrarily change the games that you were selecting on there and adjust the price. I did get a few games on there too.
I've purchased a few games on GOG. I don't have a ton. 65 assorted games, 70% off, no risk of getting trampled.
Nice.
Looks like it's kind of still going on.
Nice. Yeah, that's one hell of a sale, man.
It's a weekend promo, so I wonder if today's the last day.
I wonder if anybody actually dropped the $165 for all of the games, though.
Promo ends in 1 day and 5 hours.
Somebody did. Somebody dropped the coin.
There's a heck of a lot of games here. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I mean, Alone in the Dark. I remember the Alone in the Dark series. That used to be a really, really good. When the early ones, the one that was just released a year or two ago, a couple of years ago, I think Atari had put it out, wasn't the world's greatest.
The one that was on the PS2.
I think so. It was on PS2 or Xbox or one of those.
Yeah, that one was shit.
Yeah.
I remember at the time my girlfriend's brother had got that game. He's a real big gamer, and he was playing it like crazy, and he got to the one level where you were driving around and he kept dying over and over again. He got so pissed off, and it just doesn't look like my kind of game when you look at the other Alone in the Dark games, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So I'm looking through this list right now. There's a couple of cool things on here. I don't know if I would buy this, though. I don't know if there's not several games on here that I would want and that I would pay that for, but that's a hell of a lot of games for a cheap price. That's not that bad.
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially if you like GOG.com, that would be.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know what's weird? That's like 22% of their total library of available games for $165. They only have like 400 some odd games or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think they do have a smaller assortment of games, but some of the games they have actually are pretty. They have some pretty good older games, which is what I like. Games that really don't work if you were to purchase them, try to play them outright. They don't work with the newer version of Windows, but off of GOG they a lot of times do, which is pretty cool. So. All right, well, as you can see, we're sitting here looking at games because that's pretty much what we do. We have email. Well, we have an email account. Nobody has emailed us yet, so let's get some emails coming in. whatimplay.now@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. What I'm Playing Now. Drop the G. And look for us on Facebook. Our website should be up probably tonight. I will be linking up with the domain with the website probably after the podcast. We do have a couple articles that I've written up there. Greg's going to be putting up some of the podcasts for us, so you'll be able to listen and download the audio podcast. We will have links to the YouTube videos as well that we're recording now. So we have a site that will be starting here soon. I'm thinking about doing the forum still. Greg and I have talked about this a little bit. We may not have those up on day one, but we may do those shortly. So we're going to see how busy we are with the site and everything, and then we'll think about the forums here in a little bit.
I mean, it'd be a nice way to communicate. I know.
Yeah.
Cool. I know somebody was suggesting to me that we do the Google Plus communities, and that's just too close scope. You have to already be on Google Plus already, and
right.
You know that's obviously a problem. But a forum would be a better way to do it, especially start flame wars, and then little kids cry when they go home, that kind of thing. That's what we're going for. Rage quitting Minecraft posts. That's what we want to see up there.
I haven't rage quit Minecraft in a long time.
Dude, I've never rage quit Minecraft. I have rage quit.
I don't think I have either, actually.
I have rage quit Tomb Raider multiplayer, though.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was a fucking bitch. Oh my god.
Was it just broken, or was it?
No, this
was the learning curve just that rough?
No, the way that they do the multiplayer matches. This is the new Tomb Raider, by the way, for people who don't know. The new Tomb Raider has a multiplayer aspect where you can go online and participate in PvP or whatever. But your characters are all leveled, and they don't at the time. I don't know if this has changed or not. I haven't touched it since. At the time, they didn't have a way to check to see if high-level players were playing in the same map as low-level players.
Okay.
So like I was started out at level 1, and I was in a map with some cat that was at like level 59, and he gets up to the top part of the map. So this dude's clearly been playing for a long time. He gets up to the top part of the map with a bow and arrow. He knows where all the spawn points are at, so he farms at the spawn. Basically, is what he's doing. He's getting headshots left and right. And he got me like 13 times, so finally I just threw the controller down and yelled "fuck" and just quit. I was so pissed.
Nice. Rage quit.
I was
rage
so
quit for the win.
Oh my! I haven't touched the game since the multiplayer aspect. Anyways, I haven't touched it.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Fuck that game.
Well, I know when we get to the what I'm playing now section, there were a couple of things that I played over the weekend that I didn't rage quit, but I was sitting there getting like, man, these games are definitely a little on the rough end. They are non-forgiving, so we could talk about some of that stuff when we get there. Let's hit some news stories though.
Let's do it.
So one of the things, I had homework from last time, and I normally don't like to do homework, but this is a pretty easy one. I pretty much just looked on some of the documentation that came with my PS4, and the warranty on the PS4 is 1 year.
Huzzah!
So if anybody was wondering about that, I get a little gold star for finishing my homework, and the warranty is basically 1 year.
This is Joe grading himself, people.
Yeah. So hopefully my PS4 gets a gold star and lasts more than a year, and we don't have to worry. I don't get any glowing blue lights or anything like that. So far, it really seems like I haven't heard too much about either of the consoles, either the PS4 or the Xbox One, beyond like the initial launch days and some of the. I think we had mentioned last podcast some of the drives in the Xbox Ones were bad, and some of the PS4s had like the glowing blue light. It doesn't seem like that stuff is too widespread. It's not, it's not like any of the major news gaming sites have really jumped on the stories beyond those first days, beyond like the launch day or anything, and have been writing about them. So I haven't seen too much more about them. So
yeah, my buddy got a Xbox One, and I mean it seems pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie, and like you said, I've been keeping an eye and stuff like that, and people bitching and stuff, because if you remember back when the 360, when the Red Ring of Death first came out on the 360, there was a massive recall on a lot of those things. So
yeah,
I'm sure everybody's keeping an eye on it. But so far, it seems like everything has been going pretty smoothly for both the PS, as I like to call it, the Xbone.
Yeah.
So pretty good stuff though.
Yep. And And if anybody is watching us live, you may notice that Greg is not sending video out. So Greg's getting a new internet set up, which should be done this week, and next week we should be able to see him and actually talk to him instead of just to his picture.
Oh yeah. I've had ongoing internet issues, so I decided to change ISPs, and as I did 1 or 2 podcasts ago, I'm running off of my Verizon Jetpack, and it's on limited data usage right now. So, A, you may lose me, and B, I may have to call back on my phone. So,
which should make for an interesting podcast. So.
Right, but you know, we shall carry on.
So our next news story, one of the things we talked about last week were some of the things that people were doing on Twitch with the Playroom on the PS4. And it seems that Twitch has removed the Playroom from their stream directory. So basically, sounds like you can't stream anymore from within that Playroom, because that Playroom basically gives you, we talked about it last week, gives you like a VR setting. So you kind of like, the camera sees the whole room, you're sitting there in the room, and then you interact with some various robots and some other things that they have, which is more almost like a tech demo. But people were actually using it for, I guess, shall we say, nefarious purposes of some sort, and they kind of rooted for everybody.
Just be blunt, Joe. There was porn on there.
Basically, yes. So
there was hillbilly porn on Twitch.
And it was funny when I saw the story. I was like, well, we all kind of knew this was fucking coming.
Yep.
So they removed it, and it's the one article I was reading. They basically said that they may put the Playroom available for streaming later on. Once it sounds like the PS4 streaming community becomes a little more familiar with what Twitch is used for, which is basically just streaming games and nothing else. So
once you people grow up and stop acting like douche nozzles, then we'll put it back.
So we will see how long they actually keep the Playroom off of Twitch, but you know, some of the stuff that I heard, I don't even think I would have thought about doing any of that sort of stuff. I mean, I guess because I've used Twitch in the past, I know what Twitch is for, and I consider it just for gaming, which is what they want it used for.
Right, so, but I think had this been a streaming app that was not tied to Twitch, like let's say for example, well, let's take Google Hangouts. Let's say they move Google Hangouts to a streaming service that used, you know, the Playroom, basically. That would probably work. Twitch is not a open broadcast system. They are just a game streaming service only. That's all they do.
Right.
So, I mean, if it were broadcasting, say, to YouTube or Vimeo, which Vimeo has more strict standards than YouTube does, but, you know, had it been one of those two, it might have been a little bit different.
Yeah, I just thought it's just funny. So we'll see how long that the PS4 Playroom is actually in the penalty box and in the timeout in the corner before it gets to come and play out with the rest of the kids. But, you know, if they ever do bring it back, people, just freaking stream games. Don't be showing us no shit. We don't want to see it.
Somebody
if I do want to see it, I'm going to pay to see good shit. I mean, seriously.
You're gonna go to YouPorn and drop your credit card.
Seriously.
Oh no.
All right, next story.
Joe's got the local porn shop on speed dial.
No. Not anymore. Not anymore, at least.
Well, I hope Kim's not watching this.
Yeah, she'll be on an episode soon.
Yay.
She can fend for herself. All right, so PS4 was released on Black Friday in the UK, and it sounds like they Sony had a pretty good release for the PS4 over there. It sounds like people were standing in lines for like over 24 hours. There was a lot of excitement. It was all fucking hyped up and everything. The one thing I haven't seen that I was interested in kind of hoping to see by tonight, and I still haven't found anything, were some actual fucking numbers to how much they sold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it seems like they announced the numbers for the U.S., how much they sold in like the first 24 hours, like a couple days later.
Yeah.
So they may actually announce some numbers maybe tomorrow or maybe Tuesday or so. But from what I can tell, it sounds like Sony had another successful launch over there. But I will say this: we do have another story here that kind of follows that, unless if you have anything more about the UK launch there, Greg.
No, I just wanted to say, congrats to you UK people. You finally came on the radar with gaming, at least somewhat. Don't expect support for the PS4 to last forever because, we all hate you when it comes to gaming. So, enjoy it while it lasts, suckers.
So they are up and running, but because of that, one of the things that I even noticed on my PS4 and was really, really interesting on Black Friday, Sony had to disable some of their features just so they can kind of get their network smoothed out. And I will say this, their game store, the PlayStation Store online on the PS4, which has been very responsive ever since the PS4 released here in the US, and I was really, really impressed with how fast it loads up and everything, came to a crawl on Friday. I loaded up my PS4 and went to the store, and it just sat there. And sat there for a second or two. Then it finally loaded up, and I'm like, that did not seem normal.
Well, it's Black Friday. I mean, you have to kind of expect that Black Friday and maybe even possibly Cyber Monday, as ridiculous as those two sound, they're going to be the 2 days when the sales are going to be happening, especially in your online stores, especially on Cyber Monday. And that's going to be when everybody's going to try to take advantage of those. So, I'm pretty sure PSN is going to take a hit from that kind of traffic.
Yeah, and I think it was more of the European launch than actual Black Friday, because one of the things that you could get on Black Friday, which was a great deal, and if anybody did not grab one, they're crazy freaking not to. I picked up a year of PlayStation Plus, which you can basically stack on your account for $29, and it's normally $49, so it's almost like half price. There were some people out there, I think Amazon was limiting it to 2 cards per account that you could purchase, so you could basically get 2 years for $58, whereas 1 year is normally $50. So it's almost like basically buy a year, get one free almost. So I just picked up a year because I still had a good 6 months, I think, on my account. So I figure I didn't need to buy 2 years.
Right.
And there were some other purchases I wanted to make as well, so I didn't want to go too crazy with the credit card and everything and have the wife lay the smack down. I was trying to be an adult about the whole situation, which I normally don't like to do, but I was like, you know what, let's just try to have a decent holiday and not get my ass kicked. So so I was like, I can sneak 1 through. I'm not going to try to sneak 2 through. So when you purchase it from Amazon, you actually get emailed a code. It's a 12-digit code that you can basically enter into the PlayStation Store and redeem. And it basically just adds another year of membership onto your account. So I get my code first thing in the morning, because that was I rolled out of bed, grabbed my phone, start hitting Twitter, and somebody posted on Twitter 2 hours ago the deal went live on Amazon, because I had been watching it. I was up at midnight thinking this fucking deal is going to go live at midnight. I'm grabbing this card immediately because I do not want to get turned off. I don't want to miss this thing. And so I think I woke up at 7. Some people said it went live 2 hours ago, so probably around 5 a.m. Eastern time is when I think it had gone live. So I left my computer running all night. I ran over to the computer real quick, had Amazon loaded up, grabbed my fucking credit card, typed in all my shit, got my code, went downstairs, go to type in my 12-digit number, and I get a fucking error.
Get a 404. Server not found.
Basically, it was like that. It was I kept getting this 82, 4 or 5 zeros, and then 2 error, which is basically it just couldn't complete the transaction.
They always have some really bizarre error codes.
Yeah.
Sony does. They have some really strange ones, because I know when I'm browsing around on the PSP through the PSN, and then you get some really strange error, you try to download something and it just fails for no reason, and then it gives you this bizarrely long error code. I'm like, who the fuck comes up with these error codes?
Yeah.
Who sits there?
Let's get some standard and error codes. When something doesn't work, let's just use a certain number or something. I agree with you. Some of these numbers, the shit's just crazy. It's
what? What would really work is if Sony just defaulted to Microsoft BSOD codes,
Nice.
Like,
yeah, you know what? That is the last fucking thing I want to see on my PlayStation is a freaking briefing to death.
You can't download something. You get like a page segmentation fault.
How about if we get a sad PlayStation, like the Sad Mac?
The Sad Mac.
From back in the day. I'm a Sad Mac.
Oh, jeez.
So, but I was following Twitter and Google Plus throughout the day, sitting there reading and just doing a bunch of shit. And about noon or halfway through the day, a bunch of people were posting they couldn't redeem their codes, and finally somebody from Sony posted on the PlayStation account that they were actually disabling the code redemption service on their network for a couple of days until things smoothed out. And I actually don't even know if it's up yet. I know yesterday it was still down.
Well, does that fall? Well, I guess I got two questions now at this point.
Okay.
One, do you think this has something to do with because I was looking over the features that were disabled for the European launch.
Right.
And it doesn't look necessarily like those two services that were disabled would impact code redemption, but do you think that maybe that could have something to do with it?
I don't know if it had anything to do with it or not, but I just think the PlayStation Network was just getting hammered so badly between basically only being 2 weeks old, Black Friday, European launch. I just think it was just getting fucking hammered.
Right.
I think it was just getting turned around and just nailed repeatedly.
Right.
I mean, so I'm thinking they probably turned off the redemption codes mainly so people don't get halfway through a transaction and some things maybe get corrupted or something. They probably didn't want to fuck around with that, which is, I don't blame them, and I'm completely fine with them doing this because it probably saved them a lot of headaches in the long run. Because if they had people that were basically too much traffic and some people are redeeming stuff and some people aren't, and people just keep repeatedly getting errors, they're going to get pissed off, so they just said, that's it, we're just stopping it for right now, which is probably the smartest thing they could have done. Yeah. So it was thank God I follow some of this stuff on Twitter so you kind of know what's going on, because if you aren't following these people on Twitter or reading some of the sites, you'll be like, well, why little Timmy could be sitting there looking at his daddy going, Daddy, why isn't this working? Dad's like, Timmy, because it's just, I don't know technology, Not everybody follows, Sony and all the different people on the different, social sites. So
what Joe's telling you all to do, people, is just go follow Sony on Twitter.
Well, I think it's like PlayStation or something. I can't remember who I'm actually following, but I don't know. I follow so many damn people on my feed. It's insane. But it was nice when they actually made the announcement saying that they were turning it off. So I was like, okay, I guess I will not try this again now for a couple of days. And it's not like the code's going to go away. It's not like I need the code now. But for those people who maybe did need it immediately and wanted to, maybe were new to PlayStation Plus and wanted to hop on that PlayStation Plus bandwagon and download some of the games possibly for the PS4 that were free that you get with that, they're now having to wait a couple of days. So I'm sure there's probably some people who were probably upset about it.
Well, they'll get over it.
Plus,
they're going to have to get over it. They're going to have to get over it.
Yeah, there's really nothing else you could do other than just be like, Sony.
Well, you can rage quit PlayStation like I rage quit Tomb Raider. Or you can just stop being a little babby and suck it up and just deal with it.
Yeah, if you're going to rage quit over something like this, you probably shouldn't be playing games to begin with. Because this is, if you're rage quitting over this, the first time you're getting smacked around in some online game, I don't think you'd be having too good of a time. So I was going to say the only other thing that would affect this with the redemptions are if people don't put their credit cards, or if people don't have credit cards and they actually buy PlayStation Network cash that you can add to your account, and money gets added to your wallet. And if people wanted to buy online games and do downloaded games, they were affected as well, probably, because you probably couldn't add funds to your account. So that would be the only other thing that would suck. So
I think we're going to have to start a new section called What's New, or like What's New in PS4, or like something to do with the PS4. I mean, we talk about the fucking PlayStation so much. We may as well just give it its own section.
That's because I have one. If I had an Xbox as well, which I mentioned to the wife the other day, and she just gave me a look, and I was like, okay, that was a joke. I was just kidding. Don't I'm not getting an Xbox. I don't want one or anything. I just wanted to test the waters to see how it would go, and let me tell you, it did not fucking go good. So you're gonna have to get the Xbox One because obviously I am not gonna be able to anytime soon.
Dude, I just lined up my PS3 purchase.
You're so last gen.
I know. I just lined up my PS3 purchase. In 2 weeks, I'm going to go ahead and commit to the PS3 and 6 games. And I've got it all lined up. I'm not going to be buying a fucking Xbox. I can't. I didn't like the 360. I did demo the Xbox One. It's not my bag.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Xbox 360. I just all the TV stuff and all the other things that are on the Xbox One just don't interest me. I have a Google TV. I have so much other technology in my house.
Right.
I don't need something else to interact with my TV. I try to watch less TV and play more games actually.
Oh, I don't even fucking watch TV, dude. Like I have I just like buy TV shows on DVD if they're not on Netflix. Like I went out and bought Game of Thrones, and I'll just watch it on DVD up until it's finished, which was the worst mistake of my life because Game of Thrones just ruined a whole week. Basically, it's an amazing show, but I don't watch enough TV. Like I think that's why, and I have so much stuff on PSN that it's kind of that whole ecosystem investment thing,
right?
Where you just have so much stuff into it, and then when you try to move over to a different one, you can't bring your stuff with you, and you kind of feel like you're naked.
Yeah,
not literally naked, but
Well, you know what? That could go back to our first story back at the. Oh, look, let's not even go there. All right, the last story. We're getting on to the last story.
I am clothed right now. That's not why I shut my video off.
You're not sending video, so I don't care what you're doing over there. Just no descriptions, please. So the last story of the day. I've never heard of this before. I've heard of some shit before, but I've never heard of this. Ash's Cricket 2013 was canceled after it was flipping released.
That could just mean that Joe. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. That could just mean there's no DLC.
No. The game was briefly available on Steam, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. No one seemed to know why.
Yeah, so I was reading through this. Because I've heard of 505 games before.
Yeah, I have too.
And they don't produce shit games, but they're not. I wouldn't call them a AAA producer. The whole article goes through and it's like the basic gist is they blamed it on their developer Trickstar Games. And okay, so they didn't work with the engine properly. They didn't make everything the way 505 wanted it to. Where is this saying that 505 didn't fuck up anywhere? That's basically what I'm getting at. Is they don't look at me, bro. We just published it.
Yeah, but it's crazy because for the people who bought it, it sounds like they're getting to keep it if you want it. So. It's crazy that this game could be almost like a rare game in somebody's Steam library, which is fucking insane. I mean, because now nobody else is going to get to buy it or anything, and it's just like I'd be interested to see if they release any numbers as to how many people actually bought it.
It's going to turn into like the Action 52 for the Steam store. And for people that don't know, Action 52 is a really, really horrible game for the Nintendo Entertainment System that has like 52 games on it on one cartridge, but they're total shit. Oh, they're horrible. There's half of them are broken. Some of them are completely incomplete. I'm wondering, because can't you let people like borrow games on Steam? Didn't I read that somewhere that you're going to be able to let people borrow games?
I think that's a feature coming up in the new family and friends thing that's going to be that's in beta right now. I don't believe that functionality is available to everybody.
Okay, so so once that comes, can we borrow this game from somebody on Steam?
You might be able to, But you would the thing is you'd have to know the person, because from what I had heard, when somebody gives you access to a game, you get access to their whole library.
Ooh.
I don't think you can just share out one game to, like, I couldn't share one game to you and then maybe one game to my brother. It's like I'm sharing my library with you, I'm sharing my library with him, and only one person can be in the library at a time or something like that. I'd have to go back and read the whole contract and what the whole terms of service are for that and everything, but it sounds like it's really...
So what I'm getting at here is, if anybody listening has a Steam account that only has this game, like you got on Steam just to get this game, can I borrow it? Because I want to play this shit.
If you can find that person out here, I would buy you the game if it was available. But I guess I don't have to, since it's not. Oh well.
I'm like trying to sit here thinking about people who, because I'm pretty sure, people over here buy football games. I'm pretty sure people in Europe buy soccer games. I'm pretty sure cricket games are big over there too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sit here and think, like, who buys a cricket game? Wouldn't that be the most extraordinarily boring fucking game ever?
If you like cricket, I mean, my wife can't stand soccer, and I've been playing a hell of a lot of FIFA lately.
Right, but I mean,
because I like soccer. I mean, so if you like the sport and you get to play it, I'm sure you're gonna have some fun, unless if the game's just really fucking broken, like this one sounds like it was. But
can you imagine if this thing emulated test matches that went on for just weeks?
Yeah, I've heard some of the matches can be rather insane. There are some people at work that have played cricket before, and I've talked to them, and it sounds interesting, but I don't know. I don't know all the rules to it. I've never played it, so I really can't talk too much about cricket, but it definitely sounds like a different type of sport. So, but I've definitely never heard of this before. I've heard of games that were close to release and pulled before they were actually released.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've ever heard of a game actually being released and then being pulled back and saying we're canceling it. And not that they're not going to... It sounds like they're not going to fix it. It just sounds like it's...
done.
It's crap and we're just done.
Yep.
So it'll be actually interesting if they actually do come back and maybe try to fix this and maybe do a re-release.
It kind of sounds like that the whole development team was nothing but a bunch of bedroom coders, and this was their first project, and they got halfway through it and like, whatever, we're done.
This plays good. Yeah, no, I guess no, it didn't. So, well, that's all the news stories we have for the week. Let's jump into our next section of what I'm playing now.
And just to give you a data, I've still got room to fail, so we're still chugging along.
Sounds good. So, with the Steam sale going on, I was actually doing a lot of PC gaming this weekend. But I did get some time in for some FIFA, and I'm well into my second season, and I'm actually in the quarterfinals of the new league that I'm playing for, and I can't remember who it was, because it's been a couple days since I touched it, because I was on the PC so much this weekend. But I'm still having a blast with FIFA.
Nice.
FIFA's really fun. I'm really enjoying it.
Dude, it's soccer. What's not to like about it?
Yeah, the second season that I've been playing, I could definitely tell that the first season I was playing with the Dutch. This team I was playing, I know it's not Brazilians, but I can't remember who the heck it was. But I can definitely tell that the teams were a lot better because I have not been scoring as much as I did in the first season. So
you graduated from Babby League. That's what it is.
That's about what it was, I think.
Yeah, now you're playing with the big boys.
Well, I'm not with the big boys yet by no means. I'm still in one of the sub leagues still.
Oh.
So, but I'm going to try to maybe if I get out of this tournament and actually do pretty good in the tournament. So far in the first playoff game, I think I scored one of the two goals we had, and then in the in the next round, I think I scored both goals that we had and we won the game. So
nice.
I'm trying to be maybe like the lead scorer for the tournament, and maybe that'll get me seen by some of the bigger leagues, and I can go play onto that. So I will keep everybody informed of my FIFA playings and my soccer skills, which aren't really that great, let me tell you.
There's gonna be a movie made after this triumphant rise to the top in FIFA. That's like, it's gonna start off with you living in a demoralized town. And it's just gonna be like you so sad, and then all of a sudden somebody gives you like a PS4 with FIFA, and then you just like your whole life turns around.
There was a good soccer movie out when I was a kid, and I can't remember the damn name of it now. That's gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to look for that later. It had Sylvester Stallone in it. Pele was in it.
Oh no!
It was actually a really good movie. It was actually a really good soccer movie. But on to the next games that we played, or I played. Well, I know you have one of them as well.
Yeah, this one I have, and I have played the shit out of.
Hammerwatch. I must have put 5-6 hours into this the first day I downloaded it.
Yep.
And I just could not put I'm using the 360 controller on the PC to play this thing, and I just could not put that controller down. It was, once I kind of got past the first boss, I was just like, wow. I'm like, this game is actually pretty good.
It's another one of those ones where the first part of the game is extremely hard, but once you get past it, then it just kind of smooth sailing from that point. Like you said, once you get past that first boss, you're ready to rock and roll. But getting to him and staying, on even ground the whole way through is a little difficult.
Yeah, that first boss, which was kind of like a cocoon type creature, that one was tricky. I went through quite a few lives there.
Yeah.
So now when you run completely out of lives, which I have not done yet, is the game completely over?
Yes.
Or is there any way to continue?
No, it is 100% Iron Man. You die for good.
Well, that sucks. I don't know if I want to hear that.
That's the only gripe I have about that. Is that
I do have another gripe.
Okay.
The map.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that map.
No.
One, the map's really hard to see. The overlay on your screen is kind of tricky to navigate through. The other thing I wish it does, or could do, is zoom out. Mm-hmm. Let me see the whole fucking thing. Because just being able to see the little part of the area I'm on, there were several times when I was playing that first map where I almost did quit because I'm like, I think I'm getting lost here. I didn't know where to go. I couldn't see the whole map. I didn't know if I missed a section or what. And it was just like, I go, this is just stupid. I go, I'm running around this fucking map. I've killed everything. And I was just like, I go, this isn't any fun. But then once I kind of started learning, and I'm like, okay, the map, I got it memorized almost from going through it so many times. It got a little better.
Yeah, they don't do a good job of explaining the color coding on the HUD either. When you pull up the HUD,
right,
and you see that some of those areas are blocked off in blue, there's no explanation as to what that blue means. I mean, is it an area that's blocked off that you can't? I mean, can you not get to it just by virtue of it not being there, or do you need a key, or some other condition that needs satisfied so you can get over there? You never know.
Right.
And then, like you said, you could kill everything, and then you backtrack, and there's nothing to do because the enemies don't respawn.
Exactly. And so I'm running around, and I'm like, I had to have missed something somewhere. So you're just aimlessly running around, kind of I felt like I was wasting time a couple of times in that game. But I guess that's a small gripe for a pretty fun game. I mean, considering how long I actually did play the damn thing.
Right.
So, but we definitely need to try multiplayer on that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, once I get on Time Warner, man, we're gonna fire that up.
Yeah, I wanna definitely try that on multiplayer and see how that works out. I think that'll be a lot of fun because, do you know if the game actually increases the difficulty with multiple people, or if it's pretty much still the same?
I don't know. I've never played multiplayer, and I haven't seen enough coverage of the game to see if that's what happens.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know if more mobs spawn or something, or if the boss maybe has double the hit points or something, which would truthfully suck.
Oh yeah.
Because getting past that first boss was kind of rough. I think I made it through that boss on my last life.
Yeah, they've already got enough hit points as it is.
Yeah.
We don't need any more.
I was going off on that thing, and it just took forever for that thing to flip and die.
Kind of like that. Remember that Skull Bowl and that Skull Bowl boss in
Cube World? Yes. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then my service tanked, and we both died.
That was insane.
Oh my god, we were fighting that thing for like 45 minutes.
That was one of the longest boss battles I've ever done. I mean, it
Oh
was
my.
crazy ass. Just kiting the fuck out of that thing. So one of the other games I picked up on Steam was Rogue Legacy. I don't know if you've ever played this one or have ever heard of it.
I heard of it, never played it.
It's not that bad. It's like a little platformer game. I don't know if I want to say it's like Hammerwatch, but it's probably along those lines. More platforming because you're kind of like it's a side 2D, scroller where you're jumping up and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Hammerwatch is more of a top-down isometric view. Kind of reminds you of just like an early Diablo or something.
Yeah.
Rogue Legacy's more sideways, side-scrolling and stuff. But it's along the same lines of Hammerwatch in that it's very difficult. And when your character dies, you basically... And this is the one thing I haven't figured out about the game. I need to read a little bit more about it. Because it seems like you start off with like this family, and when one character dies, like another family member shows up that you play as then. And I'm probably into like my 4th or 5th generation of this shit because I just was dying repeatedly the other day playing this game. This game is rough and very non-forgiving.
It sounds like a really bad episode of Game of Thrones. Everybody keeps dying off, and then the kids take over.
Well, what's really cool is as you're playing through the game, you unlock you get coins and everything, and you get money, and it has like a role-playing aspect to it where you can unlock different features and unlock different characters, kind of like a blacksmith. There was like a lady that did something, and I can't remember what she was, but there's different people you can unlock. They sell you different things. There's different attributes you can do. I think there's attributes. I can't remember if there is or not. Yeah, I think there is, because I think you get to add some to your health and stuff when you level up. You get to pick something that you want to add to.
Cool.
So it's really cool, but it's really, really difficult, and it's just you just keep trying to go through the levels, and the levels aren't persistent. The levels seem to generate basically on the fly. So like when you die and go in through the same door, the level looks different.
Whoa.
So it's never the same. Different characters there, different mobs you're fighting. So it's something that definitely keeps you on your toes, and I've heard it's supposed to be a pretty good game, but I've heard it's supposed to be really, really rough, and it is really, really rough.
I'll have to give that one a shot.
Yeah, it was on the Steam sale. I think you can still pick it up for pretty cheap. I think it was only $3 or so.
Oh, wow.
It was one of the cheaper ones. So that was one of the reasons why I grabbed it, because when I saw how much it was, I was just like, okay, I've heard about this game. Oh, it's $7.49 right now. I think the price might have gone back up a little bit, because I don't think I paid that for it. So last week I think I was saying I was playing, or to jump to my next game. Last week I think I was saying I was playing Terraria on the Kindle Fire, which I really haven't touched that much since then, because I actually started playing it on the PC again over the weekend.
Nice.
And I actually have 4 or 5 guys now in my village, if you want to call it a village, whatever the fuck you want to call it, where I have like the little houses built on top of each other and everything like that. But I have like 4 different people that came in and visited my town, and that I had to build houses for.
Oh, you get little villagers and shit?
Well, there's different vendors.
Oh, okay.
That come by.
Because I remember I still have not built a house. Like, I'm just literally burrowing as deep down as I can go.
Oh, if you haven't built a house, then nobody will come yet.
Okay,
nobody
cool.
Will come. I don't want to say that, because
build it and they will come, Joe.
That's basically the gist of the game. They will come, but they need a place to stay. So like I built my first house, and the first guy stays there, and then later on in the game he said so and so showed up. So I ran back up to the top and built him a house. They had a house, so they would stay. I got like a guy who sells bombs and everything, and like grenades, because I guess if you find grenades in some of the chests, you'll get some guy who actually then sells that stuff.
Oh, cool.
I got a die maker who sells dies and stuff like that, which I haven't even fucked around with yet. I got another sort of shop owner, which sold some stuff, and I can't remember what the other one was, but I think I have like 4 or so that had moved in right now.
I'm gonna have to try and build a house because I haven't done that. Like I said, I've just been doing resource farming and just burrowing down as deep as I can possibly go. I did try to take out a second boss. I already tanked the first one. There is a second boss, and oh my god, he just he rapes me.
I haven't reached the first boss, so if you depending on the type of weapons and stuff you have, I have this pretty cool ice weapon, which is a green weapon to me, and it actually shoots an ice ball out every time I swing, or like every other time I swing it. It's not every time; it's like every other time I think it is.
Now, does it actually use up mana when you do that, or is it just free roam, like you can do it as much as you want?
I've just been doing it as much as I want, but I actually do have mana. I've picked up quite a few falling stars, and I have like 4 or 5 mana stars.
Nice.
So, but I don't even think I'm using any of the mana yet. So
yeah, that's same here. I've got 3 right now, I think, and I don't even know how to actually use it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same here. I haven't gotten that far either, but it sounds like you've definitely dug further down than me, because I seem to be hitting a lot of water, and I'm drowning.
What you need to do, there's an item you can craft, and there's some enemies that'll give it to you. There's actually like a glow stick. You can they're consumables. You can throw them, and they stay lit underwater. So
really?
Yeah. So it's different than a torch. So if you go underwater with a torch goes out.
Right.
But if you go in with a glow stick, it will actually stay in your hand as you fall down through the water, or you can even toss it. I also use it for mine shafts, like where you burrow out a wall and then you see just like gaping hole and you don't know where it goes. Just toss a glow stick down and see where it goes at. You can tell whether you're going to die or not.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I have glow sticks. I've just never used them.
Yeah, just set them on your hotkey, and then like I said, you can toss them or you can hang on to them. They're a little hard to come by killing enemies. They're a little easier to make, though.
Yeah. So I think like we said before, though, Terraria is the type of game you definitely need to get into the game for several hours before it actually starts getting really fun. I mean, the first couple hours of playing is really, really dry. Really, when you're trying to learn and figure out what to do, you're just like, what the fuck? Don't think of it like Minecraft, and it's just like, what the heck? So, yeah, I've been digging deep down, and I've gone down pretty far. It doesn't sound like I've definitely gone down as far as you have. I haven't even found any bosses yet, but I've killed a lot of mobs, and I wish for killing the mobs there was like an XP that you would get.
Right.
That you can level up some.
Or if they would drop better loot. I mean, because it seems like even though you tank harder mobs, like the deeper you go down, the harder they get.
Definitely. I've noticed that.
But the loot you get from them isn't very rewarding. Like some of them will just drop silver coins or massive amounts of copper coins. It's like who the fuck uses those? I don't.
Well, once you get an extra health, like an extra heart, you'll get a nurse that'll move into town.
Oh, cool.
Once you get 100 silver, there's another type of shop owner that'll move into town. I think once you get 100 silver. So depending on the items you're finding and what you're doing in the game, that decides the different vendors that come available to you and will move into your town, it sounds like. And I think there's a list somewhere on the internet. I'm sure if you go out to the wiki, you can find like a list of what you have to achieve to actually get somebody, to move in, the type of vendor you're looking for.
Right.
But I know that I had read there's like somebody, once you get like 100 silver, there's a particular one that moves in. And I remember if you found an extra health, like an extra heart, that's when a nurse would possibly become available as well.
I'll have to build a house then for sure.
And I think on the Kindle Fire I actually have a nurse. I don't have one on the PC, but on the Kindle Fire I found a heart, and actually a nurse did move in.
I'll have to build some houses then because I don't have any. That was like the one thing I just did not do in that game at all.
Yeah, it's definitely something you wanna start doing, because it definitely. You can put the chest down that you find. You put the chest down. How have you done any crafting?
With the
workbench,
table, with the workbench.
Yeah.
The furnace.
So you just have those out in the open. You don't have those out in the house or anything.
No, I have like a little cave. I have like a little cave that I live in.
You're a barbaric dude. That's just crazy.
I know. It's like a little cave that has a door, And
That's funny as hell.
and yeah, man, it just that's how it works. And then I just have everything on the ground in the cave.
That's funny.
So
All right, well, that's what I've been playing. What about you? I see we got Fallout New Vegas on here.
yeah, the whole Steam sale, I went and bought the 4 DLCs for New Vegas.
Cool.
I have never played them before, but I know I've modded.
Yeah, I've never.
I modded the living shit out of Fallout New Vegas, so obviously there was more content there to do, but I've never actually played the core DLCs from Bethesda, so I figured I'd
Oh,
give them a
cool.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never. I don't think I've ever played any of the Fallout games actually.
Really? Really?
Really.
Wow. That actually kind of surprises me a little bit.
It's. I think a lot of those were released when I was big into the MMOs, big on the MMOs. So when I'm playing an MMO, that will consume me for 3 to 6 months. So it's very easy for me to miss a few games here and there. When you're just eating, breathing, and drinking and sleeping, just leveling up characters and just wanting to raid and everything. So
Right.
yeah, I do have that weird addiction of MMOs, which actually, thank the lords, nothing big has been out lately, and I've been actually slowing down on Asheron's Call even. I haven't even been playing that much lately.
That's kind of strange for you. Asheron's Call seems to be your go-to game.
Yeah, well, it has been for many, many years, considering it's 13 years old. I mean, I don't think I've ever been able to say I would played a game that's 13 years old and actually still enjoy it.
Right.
So
there's Fallout New Vegas, which I haven't really touched any of those yet. I just got them. I got them downloaded before I canceled my service with my ISP, so haven't had a chance to touch them yet. Mostly because Black Friday retail, that kind of shit. So we're still recovering from that. The next thing I included was actually a little thing I've been working on for a while. I'm actually in the process of making an RPG.
cool.
So
I want to be in the alpha.
So there's a little tool that's been out for quite a long time. Some people may know it, RPG Maker. Basically, it's just a stock JRPG engine that has a real nice tile editor with it, and I've pissed around with it before in the past and just really never got into it. Now that I've become a significantly better programmer than I was back then, I decided we'll go ahead and give it another shot again, because I just don't want to screw around with actually building up my own engine and everything like that. It's a pretty powerful tool for what's there. You do have to learn how to use Ruby, and you do have to learn the scripting language for it in order to really, really customize what you want to do. The past 3 weekends, I've literally just been spending all weekend working with the software and learning how to use it and blah, 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 blah. And I finally decided, well, let's go ahead and commit to making a project with it. And I've got all my customizations ready to modify the engine, and basically at this point, it's just building up content. So for the next, I'm setting a time frame for myself. So for about the next 3 weeks, I'm just going to be working on content to put into it, and then hopefully by the end of December, I should have a final product ready to go. It's not going to be, on par with Final Fantasy or anything else like that. It's just gonna look and feel like a traditional Super Nintendo style JRPG, and pretty shallow storyline. So we shall see.
Cool, interesting. It's funny that you talk about the role-playing set. Back in the day, I know when I had my Commodore 64, there was a game called the Adventure Construction set.
I have heard of that, and I saw that before.
I was going to ask you if you had ever heard of that, because I used to play around with that back in the day.
Yep.
And that was always pretty interesting. I mean, the graphics were definitely by no means any Super Nintendo. I mean, this was probably pre-Nintendo even. I mean, these things were like, some of the early role-playing games that were available, back in that era. But it was really cool what you can do and how you can write the story and how you can add in all the text and pretty much create your own game within this game. It was really, really cool.
The big problem with RPG Maker is a lot of the stuff is very, very undocumented. a lot of it. What is documented is kind of poorly documented too. So you really got to put your thinking cap on, and yeah, at least for me, it kind of felt like I was reverse engineering something, basically.
Right.
Which is not, you shouldn't have to do that when you're trying to learn a tool. But like I said, once you really get into it and start seeing the community that's built up around it and learn how to use it, it is a decently powerful tool. I mean,
cool.
Don't let it deceive you. It is a little expensive. The latest version, which is VX Ace, I think I dropped about $80 on it. But I'm pretty sure and I'm pretty confident in my abilities enough that when I come the end of this month, I'm going to have a pretty solid game. And Mr. Joe will be the first one to try that out.
That's what I like to hear. That's exactly what I want to hear.
So,
Hell yeah.
I'll be putting like developer logs on my website. If you want to follow along with those, it's at gregfmartin.com. And I'll also put a link to the binary when it's up there too. I'll probably have a demo, and then I'll put the binary up at the end of the month. So, and it's going to be free. I'm not going to charge anything for it because it's not something I'm pursuing seriously. It's just something I've wanted to do for a while, and this is what it's come to.
Cool. Neat. I like it.
Yeah.
I think that's about all we're playing right now. But there's a couple things that we want to be playing. So one of the other things I picked up in my Steam sale was Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. Now, this may become as a surprise to you as well. I've never played the original Baldur's Gate series.
What?
I've never played 1 and 2.
What? I
played some of Icewind Dale, I think, and a couple of the other ones. I mean, I have some of the later games, both on PC. I had the couple that were on the Xbox, the original Xbox, I think, and PS2. The wife and I used to play those. We used to love those. Those were great for multiplayer hack and slash, just dungeon crawls on a console. But I've never played the original.
Oh man, you're missing out. You're missing out big time.
Well, that's one of the reasons why when I saw it on the Steam sale, I was like, yeah, because I had purchased 2 or 3 games the one day, and then the next day I saw that one on sale, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta try to sneak another charge on the credit card. Oh, man, this could have hurt, but I couldn't pass it up. So I picked up Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. That's one that I maybe want to try to start maybe this week and give a look into and play around with some and see where I get with that. So I'm pretty stoked about that because I think they already have the second one out.
Mm-hmm.
They have an enhanced edition for the second one. And I remember I was following the first one. Me and a couple of guys at work were talking about it because we were just like, that'd be really cool to replay that one. Well, they were replaying it. I was playing it for the first time. So
nice.
We'll see. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, that may be in the What I'm Playing Now section for me.
Yeah.
So what do you have coming up here?
Well, as I kind of prefaced earlier, I did line up my PS3 purchase with about 6 or 7 games. One of the things I already have on there, I pre-ordered the third Final Fantasy 13 game, which is going to come out in February of next year.
Third Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, this
really.
It's so weird.
Really?
It's so weird how they do that now. Like
Really?
they started that whole fiasco back with Final Fantasy X.
I know,
like,
Final Fantasy X2.
Like Final Fantasy X-2, which was nothing but a fan service game. And I'm pretty sure that that's what this one's going to end up being too. But this is the only franchise that I'm an absolute whore over, with maybe the exception.
Uh-oh, did we lose Greg? Are you still there? And we may have lost Greg for the evening. And it looks like his internet might have died. Well, he was getting Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. He had pre-ordered for his PS3. That's one that he's going to be picking up. The other thing he has on here on his list is Fallout 4, and he wants to know, Bethesda, where the fuck is this already? He really wants Fallout 4 from Bethesda. So Fallout is, like I said earlier, is one of the series that I haven't touched at all. I might have played one of the earlier Fallouts. I can't really remember, though. I don't believe I did. So that was basically the last section of the podcast. And if Greg comes back here in the next couple of seconds, he will be able to see us do the closing of the show. But for right now, we can be found. Hit us with email at whatimplayingnow@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments on the show, let us know. Send us an email, and we will try to answer them or get some, answer emails and stuff on the show. Follow us on Twitter at whatimplayingnow. Drop the G, since Twitter does not allow you to have that many characters. And on Facebook, we are What I'm Playing Now as well. Like we said at the top of the show, Greg may be back with us.
I am back. Yes, I called on my phone.
Nice.
So I probably sound different now. So
you do sound a little bit different. So I had told everybody you were getting the Lightning Returns on the PS3, and then you were also wondering where the fuck Fallout 4 was from Bethesda. And I don't know if you want to say anything more about Fallout 4.
Just that I need the game now because I want some Commonwealth action. I need to see these androids. Quit fucking around with me and give me Fallout 4.
All right, well, Bethesda, there you go. If you're up for the challenge, Greg's up to play the game.
That's right, and we just lost another sponsorship. So.
Now, well, I think if you're that much of a fan and you want to play it that much, I don't think that's going to lose any sort of sponsorship. So, but other than
I've been seeing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I've been seeing so much scuttlebutt about Fallout 4 for the longest time, and we just need to have it out now. It's been too long between Fallout games. We need this fourth one.
When was 3 released?
Oh God, 3. You know what? Hang on, let me grab the cases really quick. I'll check the dates.
2008.
Well, there you go. 3 was there, and then when was New Vegas? Because New Vegas was the last one.
2010.
Okay, so yeah, it's going on 4 years now.
Yeah. Still, though, Diablo fans had to wait, what, 10 years? You're not even halfway there, buddy. Suck it up.
Don't give me that.
Fuck up.
Don't give me that Diablo shit. I want my Fallout 4 now.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to, even though I played the F out of Diablo 3 and completely burnt myself out, I may actually pick up the expansion. Because I was listening to some different shows and reading some things. One of the classes is going to be like a paladin, and I would probably roll up a paladin and try to probably play through the game as a paladin, although I think ranger is what I was using now, or whatever the hell it was called, was max level and actually doesn't have that bad a loot and that bad a gear, so...
Yeah, I have not played Diablo 3. Still, I have not played it. But I know I was really bad into D2, and oh my God. I mean, me and my buddies would have massive D2 fests, and we'd be up for just days playing Diablo 2.
Well, when I first picked up Diablo 3, probably in the first couple of weeks, in the first 2 to 3 weeks, I probably had over 80 hours of play. Yeah, I played the F out of that. I was playing with a couple of guys that I used to play Asheron's Call with, and these guys level like fiends, and I was trying to keep up with them. So it was balls to the wall leveling constantly. There was no fucking around with that game. That game was just, once that game came out, and I wasn't even going to get the game. I was emailing them because I was telling them I think I was playing Asheron's Call at the time, and they were like, pick up Diablo 3. We're playing Diablo 3, so I was like, all right, what the hell? I go, I like Diablo 2, and I played the original Diablo, so I go, let me pick up 3, and I just ran down to, I think I picked up at Walmart, and I got one of the last copies they had that day, on launch day.
Oh, wow.
Came home and installed it, and just like, freaking just turned into a leveling fiend, and was just like, playing it constantly. So.
Yeah, that's how my buddy Steve was. He had a couple things where he would just mad level like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know. I'm not all into the whole, let's level like a mother, and then it becomes too competitive for me at that point.
Yeah, and that's about what it was. Like I said, if I wouldn't have been playing with some friends and I wasn't going to try to keep up with them, I probably wouldn't have played the game as much as I did. But because it was like, okay, I got to keep up with these guys, so we could all like play at the same time and play group up and everything like that. It was just like, oh my god, this is pressure. I got to level. So
pure pressure, Joe. It'll do it every time.
It will. All right. Well, I've already kind of done the closing of the show because when you dropped off, I said you wanted to know where Fallout 4 was. I went into the closing, and I think we're pretty much done with another episode.
Yeah, good cover, man.
Not a problem. I kind of saw you kind of went blank there for a couple seconds. I go, I think we just lost Greg, and then you dropped off. So
that's right.
We will probably be recording. What? Go ahead.
And Audition just crashed. So
nice.
Way to go.
You are not having a good computer night.
No, I'm not. I just want to hang myself with my USB cables now.
All right, well, we're recording this on a Sunday. Normally we do Mondays. Next week I think is going to be Sunday as well. And then the following week we should be back to Mondays. So for this week and next week we're going to be on a Sunday schedule, mainly because of my work schedule right now, which is kind of buggered up. So, but we're still doing them weekly. We're not going to miss one. So send us some emails, whatimplay.now@gmail.com, and come back next week and listen, and we'll have some more stuff that we're playing now. Have a good one, everybody.
Take it easy, guys.